Welcome back to the Jarrett Bay Insider. I'm RV Hodge. Today we have an exciting episode. We're touring 3 boats, starting with hull 65, then going to hull 64, and finishing with hull 68. We're starting off with the boat that is the farthest along, hull 65, which is a 64-footer. As you can see and hear behind me, there's a lot of activity going on here. It's kind of chaotic. We won't be able to get a full tour on this boat, but we can at least get a few sneak peeks. I wish I could have shown you a little bit more inside, but I promise you we will be back to look at some of the unique features of this boat. Meanwhile, let's go to the other side and look at a boat that we can see a lot more of. We are back at hull 64, which is a 68-footer, and this is the foredeck that goes to this boat. You can see the cabin in the distance. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, but first, let's go take a tour of the inside. Here in the engine room, you can see we have our generator mounts outboard. This is a fairly normal establishment with underwater exhaust. We have a gyro mount. This is all mirrored on the port side, and this boat gets a 3rd gyro back in between the fuel tanks. Now moving on into our engine room, I'm standing between the engine beds. This is probably something you're fairly familiar with. What we have that's a little different in this boat is that our sonar tube is off-center. That is strategically set up so that we can pass equipment into a further equipment space that's forward of that bulkhead. So I'm down forward and you can see the boat is wide open. The foredeck will go on in a little while, but where we're at right now is the companionway from the salon into the down forward chambers. You can see we have a curved access that always creates some fun effects. Coming down the companionway, there will be a wall here and a doorway here, and that will become a bunk room. There'll be an over-under bunk, be some cabinetry there with some access to some equipment space. So moving forward in the boat, the next space we come to is the master stateroom. Through that doorway is the head and the shower. Moving forward, here on the port side, we have the day head. And then continuing forward, we have another over-under bunk room. And directly opposite that on the starboard side, we have a big rod storage place. And then continuing on to the very front is the VIP V-berth stateroom. So what we have here is the cabin jig. It's not the cabin itself, but it defines the shape of the cabin. You can also see we have walkboards and so forth for safety and access. So inside the cabin jig here, you can see how this has been assembled. It will be disassembled the same way and taken out from the inside of the cabin itself, which will become the salon and the galley. So a frequent question we get asked about the cabin jig is, how do we know where the cabin is going to be built to? Well, literally our walkboard is the base of the jig. Our cabin will be built to each of these notches and steps, and they correspond to something on the boat. Standing between the 2 cabin sides, you can see the notches that have been designed into this. This is all CNC cut parts, and you can take a look here and you can see where some of the keyways, this thing gets put together like a big old jigsaw puzzle as we're assembling it. So the stage this boat's at right now, it's going to start going very rapidly. We'll see a lot of cool changes, but now let's go check out a boat that is not quite this far along. So I teased at the beginning about this being the next boat. This is the next boat. This is the lumber that will become the 90-foot Jarrett Bay hull 68. Now, it doesn't look like much right now, but I do have something to show you. The strongback. Let's check that out. When we build a strongback, we size it to the boat itself. And as you can see, this is an enormous strongback. It's 16 feet wide and 76 feet long. The boat itself will eclipse this in every dimension. It's a big boat. The strongback has 3 particular purposes. One is that it, as the name infers, supports the structure. Our stations go on top, the boat is built on top of that. It is strong. 2 is that it becomes a working scaffold. As you can see, it's tall enough for me to walk clearly under here. That's a big boat. We will need to be up there to work on it. And then the third thing it does for us It gives us a structure to establish centerline integrity, which is critical to the construction of a boat. Being on the outside of this strong back gives us a point of reference inside the building. But by the time we're done, that boat is going to extend almost to the door, almost to the walls, and we will be working up in the rafters. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave any comments or questions you have wherever you're watching us, and we'll catch you next time.